G'day, welcome to Sumo's Projects and welcome to this week's video. I'm making a splining jig. I've watched a few of the videos on YouTube and I thought I'd give it a go, maybe put a little variation on my design of it, but all in all it's turned out really well and it does the job. So stick around and let's go and make it. I'm kind of looking to make things a little bit better as my woodworking journey continues. So in this video I'm making myself a splining jig, something I should have perhaps done, you know, at the start of when I began in the shed, but never mind, these things come around when you're ready to do them. So basically I started off by building the section which was going to sit over my table saw fence. I'm using form ply to make this jig. I cut these two sides out a little bit higher than the table saw fence and then attached the top. I used a plain card on one side at both the back and front of the fence, and this is a good way to eliminate a tough friction fit because you just want a very tiny gap to make the jig slide along the fence. So mini jigs are actually positioned in the miter slot, so a couple of miter runners, but then you can also use the fence. If you've got a nice bulky fence, just allows you to have that nice free ride. Yeah, so I thought I'd go with that method and seems to be working at this point. Okay, now to expand out the mitring part for the splining. I'm extending outwards from the fence, so I'm attaching some acacia onto the sliding part of the jig, and then I will join that up to another piece, and that will give me a suitable amount of distance to be able to do splines in boxes and also picture frames. Giving myself a mark out of 45 degrees and attaching this section with pocket hole screws. I'm using pocket hole joinery to join this to the other face frame. I think it's a good way to do it. With the V, I'm not actually butting it together, so I'm leaving a bit of a gap. I saw David Picciuto when he was a drunken woodworker do something like that, and I thought, well, it worked for him, so I'll give that one a whirl myself. So far so good. So I'm marking out to 45 degrees to be able to attach this, and keep checking whilst I'm going before I drive the final screws home, and also making a mark for how deep these are going to sit at the bottom. So the last part here is to make out a section that's going to be the end of the jig. So it's expanded out now, as you can see. These are the cards. Put these wherever you can, because you'll be surprised how easily things work if you do use this technique. And it was introduced, I think, a long time ago by Nick Ferry, so a really good woodworker to follow. This part of the process, I'm making a handle, so I just copied out the handle shape on my push stick. Pre-drilling some holes and putting a round over, and then I'll go over to add some glue and some screws that will go in from underneath the sliding part of this jig, and it's all coming along ridgy-dig.
As you saw, I traced the handle with one of my push sticks. I made a whole series of push sticks. I have video I did on that, which was good using scrap, and yeah, I thought that little bit of a formation of the round over handle just adequate enough to be able to push that little jig through. So I'm very happy, and I'm nearly at the finish of it, so I'm going to give it the test run soon, and I think it'll be one for keeping.
So I'm at the stage now where we can possibly try this out, but before that I'm cutting out a spacer, and the reason for this is where I've attached the V part to the sliding part of the jig is where the pocket holes go in, so I don't want to be accidentally cutting through screws with my maiden cut. That'd be defeating the purpose and cost me a whole heap of money on a new blade. So just gluing up a section here, and this will just sit in over, as you'll see in a second. Right, let's give it a go. You'll see the blade's quite high, but my hands are nowhere near the blade, and that's why I made this handle. So just be cautious of what you do at any time you're working on with machinery or power tools. Alright, just about a wrap. Thank you for watching. Subscribe if you like, and I'll see you in the next video. So there you go, guys, that's a wrap. I made this little spacer as to a positive sort of a distance that I can sort of want to do the spline in, and then all we do is just tip it over and run it through, and it'll be symmetrically correct positioning. But yeah, so all in all, this was an easy build. I followed some examples off the internet. Now, as far as if you look at how I'm going to position it when I've had the fence readjusted for other jobs, what I do is I lift the fence to a height, and I try to come into where the slots are cut out here already, and then I'll just wiggle it in and drop it down. Quite easy. This is a build that I think is going to get a lot of use, especially I'm looking to make more picture frames and things like that, so it's a good one to be able to do for a shop project. So thanks for watching, and till the next time around, hooroo.